we went with the dinghy over to Pigeon Island, north of the bay where we anchored here in St Lucia. We pull up the dinghy on the beach since the Yeti is somewhat broken. Unfortunately, we couldn't find anything on the internet when they opened here, so we put up the dinghy on the beach, went up to the office at the entrance. Unfortunately, they open 9:30 and we were here around 8:30 something. They said it would be okay for us to leave the dinghy on the beach, so now we're just waiting for them to open. We were not allowed to be here, so we're just sitting by the dinghy, waiting on the beach. Seems a bit ridiculous, but I think it would be a nice trek here on the island. It looks beautiful around here, so I hope for the best, even if the start wasn't the best. So now we're legally checked in to the national park. What was the name of the bay again?
Rodney Bay.
In the north part of Rodney Bay. It was a bit back and forth. We could leave the dinghy on the beach or not. The guard said it will be okay for this time, and the woman at the entrance said no, but then it's okay for some hours. So it's a bit uncertain, but still we think it's okay then. But we would continue the hike and look at old buildings and stuff. So this island have a lot of history. It's been like a military thing since very long back ago, and then it's been a whaling station in the 19th, and then it belonged to the British Army, so a military place again, and then now it's a national park. Sorry about the history before. Saw on a sign now it's not the British naval, it was the US naval station. Sorry for that, Americans. But now I know that this place belongs to you. But you have to pay.
Yes, it's just the black, so no point. Not really sure what to pay either, so yeah.
If you push all the buttons and then you turn, if I turn, whoa. Does it work?
Nope.
Looky. Peekaboo! Peekaboo!
Nope. Nothing.
But the view!
Great view!
Man. It's far away, but there are Linnea somewhere there.
Could you see and protect the area from there?
Oh, it's a pot. So it's a hole. So it's hard to see out.
Okay, so maybe this was the lookout point and that was the hideout point. The sign was a bit unclear. We made it to the top. We are at the signal peak and the view is awesome. Really cool view over the bay, and to the north side you can see all the way to Martinique. Yeah, super cool.
And you can even see the ARC boats heading for the finish line. So you can see when they come with their Genakers or flying foresails from the Atlantic. Now there's coming a catamaran with an orange Genaker just forcing through the waves really fast.
Artifacts from the French pirate François Leclerc has been found on the ground here, and it's believed that he used the island as his base in the middle of the 16th century. In the late 18th century, the British Admiral George Rodney took over Pigeon Island and built Fort Rodney here. The forts on the island were used to spy on the French fleet sailing from Martinique. In the beginning of the 19th century, 2 barracks with kitchen were built together with accommodations for the commanding officer and an officer's mess. In the early 20th century, the island was turned into a whaling station. And then, during World War II, the Americans built a naval air station here and used the island as a communication station. Since 1979, the Pigeon Island has been a national park, and today it is even a national landmark.
I'm mostly surprised that this was actually an island, since today the Rodney Bay, it's protected by like a whole peninsula, but the part between like the Pigeon Island and the main St Lucia Island, that's like man-made. So in the beginning this was an island and St Lucia was their own island. So who knew? So Marcus did the clearing this morning and we are officially checked out from St Lucia, heading for Martinique. It's a bit like sailing home, since that was our first island when we first got to Caribbean 1 year ago. The weather conditions have been pretty bad the past couple of days, so we have been waiting here. And today it looks like it will be the only weather window to actually move north for a whole week.
A
But
comfy passage, so.
But right now we have a very high swell and another lot of wind behind the Pigeon Island. But hopefully that will clear in just a few moments. So even if today was going to be a pretty good weather window, we knew that it could be a bit unstable because there was a lot of rain in the forecast. So we just had one of those squalls hitting us. We haven't had any rain yet, but the wind went from like 10 knots to 25 in like a second, so just like boom. So we took the first reef, and yeah, we are doing a lot better speed now, but it's also a bit more uncomfortable. So by taking a reef when the wind picks up like this, we can make sure that we maintain our speed and our angle towards the wind without having the mainsail just flapping back and forth, which is both nice for us because it gets smoother through the water, but it's also good for the sail. When it flaps a lot, there's a lot of wear and tear on it. Yeah, it would get old very quick if you sail with a lot of flapping in the sail. From crazy waves just crashing all over, the wind suddenly just dropped again, and the swell also calmed down. So it actually turned into a pretty nice sailing. It's a bit slow because we have a lot of current against us, but compared to just crashing into waves, this is really nice. We are doing 6 knots through the water, but only slightly less than 4 over ground. So we have more than 2 knots of current against us. So definitely going a bit slow.
If you remember from our sail to Soufrière on St Lucia, we had a lot of birds flying around Linnea and was pooping everywhere. We still have a lot of poop in the sails and stuff from that time, and today we had one more bird pooping, so I really hope for this rain. There's some dark clouds here in the back. I hope they will catch up so they can drop a lot of fresh nice water over the Linnea and her sails, and also rinse off all the salt from our first leg out from St Lucia, where it was quite bumpy and wet. It's always nice to get her rinsed off so you get all the salty, sticky blah away.
So we are in the middle of this cloud that Marcus wanted to hit us with a lot of rain, and everything went totally crazy. The waves changed direction and built up like 4 meters, and the current changed direction just like 180 degrees, like boom. So we have the wind coming from that direction now, and we have the current coming from that direction, and it feels like we have stopped here, but we're actually moving pretty okay. I think we're just gliding on the current. Yeah, and still no rain.
We prepare a bit for maybe taking down the sails, so we're ready if it comes like a smocka banka bank. Boom.
When the wind shifted and the clouds hit us, the temperature dropped, so the wind actually turned a bit chilly. I don't know if it could be like it dropped from 30 degrees to 26 maybe, but that feels kind of a lot right now. Here comes the wind. Maybe still just like 12 knots, but yeah, I really thought it was picking up, but it's going back down. Okay, here comes the wind. Bam, 20 knots.
Unfortunately, it's more windy than rainy, so we get even more salty. Ah, merde! Dra in den igen. Flera varv, det är tungt.
Good job.
Ja, akta huvudet. Det räcker.
Ah!
Nej, det igen. The rages. Oh.
This is the problem with sailing in France. They press the distress button for anything and then they have a conversation. The problem is that to get rid of this sound, we need to go downstairs and push on the VHF. And the problem now is that we are so heeled over and I'm so soaking wet that I don't want to go down because I will most likely just slid around. So yeah, we just have to listen to this. We have rolled up the jib. We had more than 30 knots of wind, so we were definitely overpowered, a lot overpowered. So we rolled the jib in and it's a lot calmer now. But wow, the wind dropped and we were able to take the main down. We only have like 1 nautical mile left to St. Anne. So we decided to drop the main while there was no wind, so that we wouldn't just bark into the anchorage full main up and trying to get it down if the wind picked up again. The visibility right now is, yeah, I don't know, like 100 meters, 200 maybe. You're starting to see the contours of Martinique, but it's just barely. Did you get your rain?
My wind? My rain? I did really get my rain. It rains like crazy. Oh, but the bird poop, it's a sticky, shitty bird poop. It's really hard to get off. They eat this fly fish. I think it's very hard to digest it.
This will probably be the first and last time I ever say this in the Caribbean, but it's cold. It's super cold. We managed to find a pretty good anchor spot and we have managed to dry it up a bit. It continues to rain just on and off, but right now it's quite sunny and good looking that way. It's a bit worse looking this way, so I'm just moving back this way. But yeah, feels really nice to be back at Martinique. It's really cool to be back where we once started, and yeah, we will have a few days here waiting for good weather to go north to St. Martin or St. Bart's, depending on the weather. And
yeah, we're just going to do some projects here and make sure that we fill up the boat with all foods that we like, drinks that we like, and just be ready for being in countries where it's a lot more expensive to buy food. Yeah. So this will be it for this week's episode. Hope you enjoyed St Lucia. We definitely got a better impression than what we had read. So if you're sailing here, it's definitely worth a stop there, even if it's just for a few days. So yeah, a big thank you to our patrons. You really make these videos possible. And if you like to contribute too, make sure that you check out the link and join the crew. See you next week, and fair winds. Bye!